Hey, I wanted to introduce you to Ms. Rahmany. Hold on, I'm gonna give a moment for people to just jump on. And we were supposed to do it start 4 minutes ago, but there was some noise from everybody rattling all of their support of the hospital workers. So I just wanted to give a moment before I can come and introduce you to my brand new bride. And I wanted to um, introduce you and have her say her favorite part of yesterday. This is a really weird. This is a really weird thing that we did. Right? We went pretty unique in a time in a moment where most people hiding in a Yanni, Yanni, Yanni's here. In a moment where so many people have been um, hiding and in a space of fear, we decided to go kind of against the grain. We're going to create an event where people who are closest to us can actually celebrate. And so yesterday we had the amazing opportunity of giving to this gorgeous looking up island on the Malahat. And what did we do yesterday?
Got married.
We got married. Yeah. So it's official now. And you want to show? Yeah. So it's official now. We did it. And I wanted to come and introduce her. So I want to share my favorite moment was um, when you walked down the stairs, and then I got to see you, and then a few minutes later, sharing those vows, just in front of people. Like I didn't realize. I thought that people were going to be, on Zoom. It's not the same. But I got to share how I felt about this one, and my friends and family were there, and they could actually participate. And you can see on the recording, people were crying, and so it was really cool to be able to see that. What was your favorite part?
Favorite part was the vows. I loved them. And funniest part would have been dance. We were on carpet. I was in heels, and I was completely wrapped up in the of the dress.
Yeah, so if any of you know, dancing on that first dance isn't very comfortable.
And if any of you, Nima, he's good at dancing. Well, I am not, so it was
It was fun. We had a good
it
time,
was great.
and it was perfect. It was like a perfect event because my aunts and uncles and everyone there. My aunt is like over 70 years old, and so they didn't get the whole Zoom thing. During the dance, we hear my aunt like scream, "I don't hear anything. I can't see anything. What's on?" In the middle of the dance? So I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my God." It was, but
It was special.
it was fun. It was special, and so we had a really amazing time, and we're like exhausted. You realize how doing like running an event and having all of that, you have this anticipation. Then when you're just like, so I'm gonna do a short little piece today. I really wanted to share with you, giving you more for your trigger-proof toolkit is what I'm calling, and then we're just gonna go rest with to start a very very busy week ahead. I guess we already did our honeymoon in Australia before we knew we were gonna get
Didn't even
married.
know.
We didn't even know we were gonna get married, but she was pregnant when we were in Australia. Actually, she was pregnant when we were in Australia. Yes, that would be considered a honeymoon. And now we're just business as usual. But now the only difference is it's official. We did it. We did it. So
Thank you, everyone.
yes. So I just to introduce you to her. She's probably one of the most genuine people that I ever met. The first time that I met Diana, hey, thanks, hon. The first time that I met Diana, it was weird. Over the last, well, 20 years, I have been studying personal growth and human behavior. So I had this really weird, and being a chiropractor for 18 years gives me a little bit of an advantage when I'm meeting people. So when I meet people and I can feel, this is a weird part. Same with you, especially if you're an empath. You can feel when someone's words don't match what's going on in their field inside. I'm going to explain to you a little bit about what that is, but concept of congruency, the concept of vulnerability, the concept of authenticity. The the biggest killer of all intimacy that you can have is having an experience where if I'm speaking to you, the words that are coming out of my mouth versus the feelings that you're reading don't match. Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever had experience in when the feelings that you're feeling don't match with the things that the other person is saying, or other way around, where you're saying things that don't match what you're actually feeling? There's an incongruency there. There's a what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, um, Contradiction. That's the word I'm looking for. The contradiction, what I've discovered in my years of human behavior and health and human potential, is that that contradiction is the root cause of anxiety. In other words, for us to feel whole and complete, we must feel first and foremost safe in our bodies. Our actions, our actions and our words must be aligned with the truth of who we are. When we have that, we have health, connection, we have true intimacy, we have authenticity, we have presence of understanding, and we have love. This is really what the whole point of all of this is all about, is to be able to engage with people in work, in business, so that everything that's coming out of your mouth is congruent with what's going on inside here, which is what's congruent with what your higher self really um, aspires to be for you. And that we don't learn growing up often how to do that. And when we don't, there's this lack of genuineness, lack of authenticity that happens. And the first time that I met Diana, because I've met thousands of people, I've worked with so many people, and the first time I met Diana, I was like, whoa, this is somebody whose words match her feelings, and she's got vulnerability, and she respects herself. And I it was just like a brainer for me. I was like, whoa, and it just happens. And so the if you're single, you're listening, or you're feeling disconnected in your relationship right now, I want you to know this wonderful news for you is that that other person will show up to the same degree that you're showing up. Okay? So all if you don't like where you're at in the relationship game, you don't enjoy the people that you're around, you don't feel seen, heard around those other people. The best news that we share with the clients that we work with is that all of the outside is simply just a mirror for what's going on inside. And if you want to shift that outer world, the majority of people outside of this community feel that outside things need to change first before we can then have an internal shift. But learning, your trigger toolkit flips it on the other side. And in those moments where you don't feel like external world matches anything of your highest ideal, that's when the work actually begins. That's when you must take a leap of faith within yourself and create a vision for yourself and hold that vision regardless of the circumstance, regardless of COVID 19, regardless of coronavirus, regardless of what the job market and the not hiring and the fear in people's eyes and all of that stuff. If you just put all of that aside and make your number one focus what's going on inside and working to regulate that, then three things start to emerge. Okay? Three things start to emerge when you learn how to become trigger proof. And I want to share those three things with you and why it's so important for you to really master the art of self regulation and make it a priority, making it a priority of what's going on here every single day. Day to day, actually, it's moment to moment. A constant check in into your breath, into your body, asking, what am I putting into my field today? And when something has come on, is confronting you and has triggered you, and you've now been knocked out of balance, to have that kind of toolkit, trigger proof toolkit, that step by step action to get you back into your heart so that you can then become resilient, expand your capacity, and then all of a sudden you'll start to see people, places, that's the goal. So start becoming proof. First thing is health, because you start realizing that your emotional state has a huge impact on digestion. It has a huge impact on even what you choose to put into your body. It has a huge impact on your sleep. These foundational things, when you get them right and you learn to master that, from the breath the way up to exercise, all the way up to structure, all the way up to meditation and attunement, all the way up to aligning your life towards a life that's congruent with your highest values, a life that feels aligned. When you do that, all of a sudden your health starts to balance, because your nervous system, which pretty much controls every aspect of your health and every aspect of your experience of life, even how what you perceive is kind of regulated your nervous system. When you get that, body starts to function better. Your hormones go into balance. Your sleep starts to restore. Um, Digestion starts to improve. You're able to lose the weight that you couldn't. You're not able to put it off because your body is not in this constant being chased by a tiger. You have a safety feeling in your body, and your body doesn't feel like it's got to protect itself with extra layers of fat and adrenal burnout and all of those things. So the first thing that happens, number one, when you learn how to become trigger proof, your health starts to transform. This is the first place that you look. It's the first place you look. Proof toolkit will actually have you become the self healer rather than have a doctor do it for you. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the second thing that starts to change when you start to master your triggers, you start to master regulating your nervous system and your perceptions, not just outside of you, but inside your body, and really bringing yourself up the ladder from dorsal shutdown to sympathetic dominance to ventral vagal, which is that safety, is when you start to have that safety, guess what happens to your relationships? Your tone of voice changes, your facial expressions change, you're able to have eye contact. This is one of the things that Melinda, who came to our event was having huge marital issues. She came to one event. We cleared a trauma that was having her dissociate and dysregulate. Dissociate meaning her body. So when her and her husband would get into arguments, she literally wasn't able to look him in the eye. After we cleared one of her major past traumas and got her to connect with herself, she noticed, she went back home and she said, holy crap, my husband noticed right away that, like, I'm able to make eye contact with him. He's wondering, he's like, when can I, like, when are you coming back to Sydney? Because now he was such a skeptic. Now he's totally seen a shift in me. He wants to participate as well. And what happens is when you learn how to regulate that nervous system and you have this trigger toolkit at your disposal, all of a sudden other people feel safer around you because the tone of your voice is different. There's a softness to you. There's a softness to your eyes. There's a softness to your way of being. There's a softness to your space. And instantaneously, you're able, as a rising tide lifts all boats, you're able to actually share that with other people, especially those closest to you. Reason why this has become very important to me was because 2 months ago I discovered that I'm going to be a dad. And I was like, all right, let's put a ring on it. And so we did that yesterday. And so every time that I'm interacting with Diana, I'm doing so knowing every aspect of me, the way that I'm feeling here, is felt by my baby. It's huge, isn't it? I want you to think back in utero. What was your mother's emotional state? Did she know that dad was going to be there for her? Did she know that your father was going to be there for both of you? Did she absolutely no doubt, or was she wondering, is this going to be around? Is he going to leave me? Am I safe? That lack of safety that the mother feels when she has, a child in her womb is by the baby. Your unconscious mind is developed right in the moment of conception. I There's too much information that I know for me. I know much. So that inspired, now I have such a huge why. And exactly around the same time as I discover that I'm going to be a dad, exactly the same time, uh, this is when the COVID pandemic started showing up. So it's like, holy shit. And then I had to quarantine myself for 2 weeks. And so my relationship with Diana was all kind of, wow, everything going on around me and her is impacting our baby. So this is a big reason why I started this group and why I'm doing trainings a week and why I started doing these virtual events, because they're not just for me, they're not just for you, they're actually for child. Diana comes to all of my training, Breathwork, she was there, she was at the overview experience, she's in all of those events because everything that I'm teaching is actually not just, it's for my baby who's due in October the 3rd. So it's become very important to actually do this. And so hopefully you can feel the relevance of why I want to share this. The first thing that transforms when you learn how to become mastering your triggers is you become healthier. You start to make better choices. The second thing that happens is you start to develop a deeper intimacy. Start to develop deeper intimacy in your relationship. You then feel one another because you're not afraid of your own feelings anymore. You're able to express them. You're able to share them vulnerably, even though they're not always positive. You're not running from them. You're not covering. You're not avoiding. You're not pretending. You now have intimacy. You now have an ability to have an authentic relationship. Because let's be frank, those are the only relationships worth having. People who go, I don't like other people who say I stay away from other people who say, oh, I am not a people person. I really know, uh, my heart goes out to those people because I understand where they're coming from. Um, the truth of the matter is they can't themselves. They can't be in their own thoughts, into their own feelings. They're not able. What I'm saying is, when I'm around other people, bring up things about myself I don't like, I haven't been okay with. Because I can't handle that reflection, I'd rather just be on my own. That's what that means. Because those same people who I don't like other people, now during the pandemic where they're isolated, they're like, oh, fuck, where are my people? Where are our people? And they're realizing that their disconnection and dissociation from others hasn't actually been that great of a thing to them, their health. And time for us to heal those wounds. Okay, so when you learn these tools, number one, your health transforms. Number two, all your relationships transform. I trust myself in relationships now because when people piss me off or I piss others off, it happens on occasion, I trust that I'm able to navigate myself through. And when I can do that and I put on the oxygen mask first, I can really be of assistance. I can really be helpful to somebody else. What's up, Melinda? I was just talking earlier. Shada, nice to talk to you, sis. Kaveh, Christine, whoa, whoa, whoa. Um, yes, your mic keeps dropping in and out. Maybe check your headphone. Does it work? Can you hear my, anyway, my mic is probably not working again. Anyway, so the last third thing I want to mention, sorry if my microphone isn't working. It's hit and miss sometimes. So the third thing that I wanted to mention, number is third thing when you learn how to become trigger proof, you basically connect us. The thing that's stopping you from connecting to purpose now, the thing that's really not working, the reason why you don't know what your purpose is because you're dissociated from your body. And when you learn how to manage your emotions, you learn how to be still in your body, you are now receiving inner guidance. And your purpose just emerges from that. The three things, when you don't get that right, you're constantly looking outside of you. People tell you the answer is inside of you. The answer of you. I kept looking at that and what the hell does that mean? Finally, I dropped into my body. I felt emotions. I learned that, which that in and of itself is a skill. All of a sudden, I started to feel cold. I knew exactly what my purpose was. It was emerging through my ability to drop into my body and drop into feelings. So, so the three most important reasons. Number one is your health will transform. Number two is your relationships will transform. Number three, your connection purpose transforms. And that's where you start to do prosperity because when you're working with people and connected to purpose, then you have abundance flowing. Without that, you're outside of you and you don't have that same amount of resource because it's coming from a place of scarcity rather than from a place of abundance. That's what I wanted to share, just a short the three most important reasons why you will learn this skill, what you will get out of learning skills of becoming trigger proof. Number one is your health transforms. Number two, your relationships transform. And number three, you then connect to purpose. Those are the three things that I wanted the most, that I've been most interested in. And everybody who's reaching out to me, even if you're going through a relationship crisis, those are the skills that you learn how to navigate all of those. And that's what we're focusing on in this community. And let me know if you have any specific questions. This week, we got a lot of trainings coming up regarding creating secure attachments. Why am I talking about that? It's because I absolutely love the work that has the results that have come from the side of doing the work. The results being I've been able to actually go from a place of complete disconnection, repeating patterns. I was the avoidant, the insecure avoidant in relationships, constantly dating and marrying somebody who basically turned out to be the codependent. And so with these dynamics, and I would see them happening again and again, and now I see them all around me, and knowing that the same medicine is required for everyone, and that's to go inside and heal those old wounds. And so that's what we have coming up in 1 week time. Just giving you a heads up, in 1 week time we have the overview experience uh, workshop. It's a 5 hour where I teach you the art of basically the toolkit, the trigger proof toolkit. You get it in these hours where I take you on a journey into your primitive wounds and reconnect through meditation, through system neural exercises, and through practice and through community and sharing how to actually heal that connection with that younger self so that you actually handle this COVID pandemic and any other crisis a lot more readily, feeling more resourced. That's coming up on Sunday for all of my clients, and I opened it up for people who aren't clients, who really wanted to um, solve that, who wanted to shift the quality of their relationships at home with their children, with their partners, and their work relationships. All of it is the same thing. How we relate to one another is what you're going to learn how to manage. And the way that we do that is learning how to relate to ourselves. Let me know if you have any questions, if anything. Um, yes, cool, cool, cool. That was number three. Number three, my mic is going in and out. Sorry about that. Sorry about my microphone. I'm going to make sure to test it for next time. But number three, purpose. You connecting to your purpose, to connecting to a cause greater than you. Leslie, yes, definitely go back and watch. Sorry about the sound. I'm going to do a little microphone test for next time and make sure that we nip that in the bud. But hopefully you got that. And watch from the beginning. I introduce you to Diane. See you guys.